Hey, 42 here. League of Legends is the most played video game in the world, which, considering it's only been around since 2009, is quite an achievement. League of Legends has over 32 million active players, and 12 million people play on a daily basis. If you've never played League of Legends before, let me give you a quick rundown. LoL, as it's commonly referred to, is a MOBA, which stands for Multiplayer Online Battle Arena, developed by Riot Games, a company started by a couple of entrepreneurial gamers. MOBAs are a subgenre of real-time strategy games, based off a custom map for StarCraft called Aeon of Strife. There are a handful of popular MOBAs, namely Defense of the Ancients and Heroes of Newerth, but none come close to the popularity of LoL. A typical game in a MOBA consists of two teams of 5 players, who battle it out on a map containing 3 lanes. The goal is to push the 3 lanes all the way to the enemy base, eventually invading the enemy's base and destroying their nexus to win. Each player chooses a unique champion to play as. In League of Legends, there are over 100 champions to choose from, each with their own set of attributes and abilities. Players can gain an advantage over their enemies by last hitting minions, securing kills and assists, and slaying the various monsters scattered around the map. All these give you and your team bonus gold, which can be spent on better items to make your champion stronger. More than 10 new League of Legends games start every second, and the LoL servers regularly support over 5 million concurrent players globally. To put that in perspective, the top 100 games on Steam have an average of 650,000 concurrent players, all put together. But the numbers get even more mind-blowing. Every single month, League of Legends players play well over 1 billion hours of LoL. That's rather incredible, considering that since 2004, Halo players have played a cumulative 2 billion hours. Over 90% of LoL players are male, and 85% are between the ages 16 to 30. Teemo, the ever so annoying Yordle, dies 6.5 million times a day. That's 75 deaths per second. The chance of you getting a pentakill is just 0.05%. That's only once in every 1,500 games. Above pentakill, there was once a legendary kill, awarded for getting 6 or more kills in a row, which is possible if the enemy takes revive and teleport, but it has since been removed from the game. Riot is constantly adding new Easter eggs to the game, such as, your team will lose the game if they surrender after the enemy has surrendered. There is a cupcake inside Caitlyn's trap. Destroying the enemy nexus grants you 50 gold, but it's completely useless because the game is over. The in-game clock skips from 7 seconds to 11 seconds every game. Vladimir has been nerfed more than 10 times since his release, whereas Trundle has never been touched. Between 8 to 10 new champions are in development by Riot at any given time. Leona's passive, Sunlight, does 1 less damage to champions wearing sunglasses, such as Vayne. When Fizz uses his ultimate, Chum the Waters, if the enemy is small, like Annie, and dies from the attack, their body gets eaten by the shark instead of leaving a corpse on the ground like normal. There are 4 ninjas in the league: Shen, Akalai, Kennen, and Zed. All of these champions have a special buff called Ninja, which reads, "This unit is a flippin' ninja." Ninjas are more effective on their own, so for every ninja on your team beyond yourself, you lose 1 health. Nidalee can turn into a cougar. She has a hidden passive which grants her the power of the cougar. This passive grants nearby allied champions plus 5 experience every 5 seconds, if they are a lower level than Nidalee. Riot is constantly releasing new champions. For 2 years in a row, Riot played an April Fool's Day joke on their players by announcing the release of a new champion, Earth the Manatee. The Legend of Earth became so popular that Riot released a new skin for Warwick, Earth the Manatee Warwick. The skin was such a success that Riot decided to donate the proceeds from the skin to the Save the Manatee Club. That's about it for Easter eggs, but here's some things you might not know about the game that might help you out in solo queue. Turrets do more damage to champions with each successive hit, starting at 105% up to a maximum of 225% on its 6th hit and beyond. Making a mental note of when buffs such as Golems, Elder Lizard, Dragon and Baron Nashor respawn can help you secure the buffs before your opponents even realise they're there. The blue and red buff respawn every 5 minutes, the Dragon every 6 minutes, and Baron Nashor every 7 minutes. Many champions have auto attack timer resetting abilities, meaning you can auto attack, then use an ability, then auto attack again in quick succession for tons of damage. A good example of this is Vayne's Tumble. Most beginners underappreciate the value of last hitting minions, but perfectly last hitting one minion wave gives you 124 gold. That means that last hitting 3 minion waves is worth more than a kill. And here's some fundamental tips that will instantly improve your gameplay. Maintain constant map awareness. In between last hits and whenever you can, you should be looking at your minimap. If an enemy is missing from the map, there's a reason for it. They're either dead, jungling, or coming to gank you. A handy tip is to press tab when you see an enemy missing to bring up the scoreboard. This will tell you 2 things very quickly: how many enemies are dead, and how many are visible on the map. The greyed out champions are MIA. Play for your team, not yourself. This is one of the major factors that separates gold players from platinum and diamond level players. You should maintain the mindset that everything you do in game is to aid your team and not improve your KDA ratio. After all, LoL is a team game, and the pros didn't get where they are today by playing for themselves. Learn how to counter pick and counter build. Some champions are inherently weak against others, instantly giving you the upper hand. So instead of complaining when the enemy picks Kassadin, play as Pantheon or Talon mid and get an early null magic mantle, then watch as you wreck his face. This leads me on to my next tip. Don't play a champion you're not good with, just because you think they're overpowered or counter another champion. The best way to get good at the game quickly is to choose one champion and only play that champion. You're a lot more likely to win a game if you know your champion back to front, than if you're playing a supposedly OP champion you're no good with. Use wards, lots and lots of wards. Wards aren't just for supports. Every champion should buy wards throughout the entire game. Don't go mad, but a well placed ward around your lane or in the enemy jungle will save your life time and time again, and you will get free kills you wouldn't have got otherwise. Don't forget objectives such as towers and dragon. They all give global gold to your entire team, but learn which objectives are most important and when you should take them. Here is a general tier list of objectives from most important to least important. Nexus, inhibitors, Baron, towers, dragon, champion kills, buffs, and finally smaller jungle camps. Constantly find ways to counter the enemy team's plays. For example, if the entire enemy team are trying to push bottom and 4 of your teammates are defending bottom, solo push the top lane and try and take a free tower. Most likely your team can defend bottom 4 vs 5 with the aid of their tower. Meanwhile, your team just got a free tower. If the enemy team send more than one person top to kill you, then simply recall. You've wasted the enemy team's time, which is a big advantage in itself. Has the enemy mid laner gone to gank top? Try to take the middle tower whilst they're away. Towers are worth a lot more than a kill, but don't forget to warn your top lane that there's a gank incoming. But League of Legends isn't just for fun, it's serious business. Esports is one of the fastest growing sports, and LoL has overtaken StarCraft as the world's biggest esport. The 2013 League of Legends World Championship drew in an astonishing 18 million unique viewers, which is more than a lot of traditional televised sports. Riot Games offered a handsome $2 million prize pool, which 14 of the world's best teams competed for a share of. 8,000 fans showed up to cheer for their favourite team at the live event, which was held at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. But it was also broadcast all over the world via the internet and on national TV in South Korea, where esports is taken very seriously by the majority of the population. When asked, many League of Legends players reported that they actually prefer watching professionals play than playing themselves. It is even rumoured that esports could become an Olympic sport as soon as 2020. League of Legends as a competitive sport is making a big splash in North America and Europe. Pro gaming houses are popping up all over the world. A gaming house is a special house where a professional team and their management lives permanently, so they can practice together around the clock. It may shock some people that so much time and money is put into professional gaming, but nothing compares to the game's impact in South Korea, where esports is nothing short of a cultural phenomenon. Professional teams in South Korea are backed by multi-billion-dollar sponsors. Professional League of Legends players can earn close to $1 million a year. That's more than some Premiership football players in the UK. But playing at that level requires over 8 hours of practice every day to stay at tournament level. Korean teams are strictly controlled by their management to ensure they get the best out of their players. Players must wake up early, work out at the gym daily, and go to bed at specific times. Teams also have a handful of player coaches, as well as nutritionists and personal chefs to ensure they are eating a balanced diet. It's an awful lot of dedication, but for many people, playing games for a living is a dream come true. Thanks for the view, subscribe for more 42.